What's good, everybody? Appreciate you checking in. All right, the pads are officially on. The pads are on, and we're now going to be able to determine who's going to really make this 53-man roster. Because once those pads come on, now you can just separate the men from the boys. A lot of these rookies, these undrafted free agents that are finally in the NFL, we're going to really see who can make it and who can't. So I'm excited. And as we kind of get into this training camp and through preseason, there are some offensive matchups, some battles that I'm going to be focused on, and I want to share them with you guys and just kind of get your take on it. So before we do, if you can, please like this video, subscribe, turn on those notifications. In order to like this video, just hit that thumbs up. It definitely helps me out. But just so you guys know, I'm doing my next giveaway at 4,000 subscribers. So if you want to be included in that, hit that subscribe button. But before we get into it, one of the biggest questions is one, what's the biggest camp battle in your eyes on the offensive side of the ball? Who are you most excited about to kind of see battle out through for the positions? Because there's a ton of battles that I'm excited for. And at the end of the day, who's going to win this quarterback battle? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Gardner Minshew is going to take over Aiden O'Connell, or do you think Aiden O'Connell is going to grow off of what he did last year and snag that starting spot? So let me know in the comment section down below. Who do you think is going to start week 1 against the Chargers this upcoming season? Now, just so you guys know, when I go through these battles, I'm going to talk about all the positions except for the quarterback position, because obviously that is the most intriguing, most interesting position battle that we have. But I think a lot of us have talked about it. A lot of us have kind of given our opinions on it. And so I'm not necessarily going to touch on the quarterback. I'm going to touch on the other positions. And the first ones, and I have the depth chart up on the screen. So let's kind of take a look at it. The first one that I'm really excited to watch out for is Amir Abdullah and Dylan Labe. Amir Abdullah, we re-signed him to a 1-year contract. I thought it was a great signing because we do need that third down back. But the guy that we snagged in the late rounds of this year's draft is Dylan Labe. And a lot of people are talking. There's a lot of positive things coming out of camp around Dylan Labe. And again, he's a rookie. He comes from a small school, so we'll see kind of how he transitions. But if Tom Telesco can repeat and do what he did with Austin Eckler, it might be very interesting to see what Dylan Labe can do. But again, we now put the pads on. So this is where we get to really see how is he going to hold up at the NFL level with pads on. And so, but a lot of positive things have come out regarding this kid. So I'm excited. I'm excited just to see how he does in training camp. I'm excited to see just how he does in preseason, because I'm assuming none of us know this for a fact, but I'm assuming that he's gonna get a lot of playing time during the preseason. So I'm excited. This battle between Amir Abdullah and Dylan Labe is going to be very, very intriguing. And so let's get to the next one. Let's take a look at the receivers. Michael Gallup, he just announced his retirement, so he's no longer on the roster. And so I think that's going to open up for some of these younger receivers, guys that we got in the draft, or guys that we picked up as undrafted free agents. I think it's going to give them a chance to really prove what they can do and possibly find themselves on this 53-man roster. So one guy is Christian Wilkerson. We picked up Christian Wilkerson last year. He's a tall, lengthy wide receiver. We got to find out who's going to be that number 2. Who's going to be that number 2 receiver sitting either behind Jacoby Myers or Devonta Adams, right? Those guys are our starters, but we got to figure out who's going to back them up. And Christian Wilkerson, just another year for him to prove who can he do it in the NFL. Now, mind you, he was a Josh McDaniels guy. He brought him over, so we'll kind of see how much ground Christian Wilkerson can make in this training camp and preseason. Now, 2 guys I'm really excited about. One, Ladidrick Griffin, Tulu Griffin. I'm extremely excited about him. I've talked about him a lot in the past. I think he can help not only as a guy that can create separation, a guy that can beat the defense deep, stretch the defense, because we're going to need that if Trey Tucker were to go down. But I think he also can help in the return game. He proved that when he was at Mississippi State, I believe. And so I'm excited to see what he can do, but I think he can also help because Luke Getsy likes to run a lot of screens with his receivers. And Tulu Griffin, he ran wide receiver screens extremely well. in college. And so I'm excited to kind of see him translate what he did in college to the NFL. And we'll see how that works out. So Tula Griffin, I'm definitely going to watch him battle. And then Ramel Keaton. Now that Michael Gallup has announced his retirement, he's no longer on this roster. I think Ramel Keaton is a receiver that can battle for a spot on this 53-man roster, possibly behind Jacoby Myers or Devonta Adams. He's a tall, lengthy receiver. He can get separation. He can create distance between defenders. I want him to improve on his hands, show that he's improved his hands, but also show that he's improved on his ability to kind of capitalize on those 50-50 balls. You know, when that ball is thrown up in the air, Devonta Adams is one of the best to ever do it in the business. I want to see Ramel Keaton be able to kind of capitalize on some of those opportunities, because that's where I think receivers can really separate themselves, kind of catch the eye of the coaches, and that's when you can possibly make this 53-man roster. So I'm excited. Tula Griffin, Ramel Keaton, and we'll see what Christian Wilkerson can do. Now, last but not least, I'm really interested on how this offensive line and the depth on this offensive line is going to work out. I mean, obviously Thayer Mumford is slotted as the starting right tackle, but he still has a lot to prove. And so, but behind him, who's gonna be those guys that might be the future of that position? Colton Miller, he's a little bit banged up. We'll see kind of how that plays out as we get further into training camp. But two guys that I think are going to completely battle it out for a backup position on this roster, which I'm excited about because they're two young players that one a lot of people are high on, but I'm high on another one. A lot of people are like Dalton Wagner. They are very excited about Dalton Wagner coming out of Arkansas, one of the highest paid undrafted free agents I think the Raiders have ever brought on. And so a lot of people are high on him. One guy I'm really high on is Andrew Coker. I think Andrew Coker is going to have a real good shot at battling for a backup position on this roster, and he might find himself getting some playing time if we do need to transition him down to possibly a guard or move this offensive line around, because if Jackson Powers Johnson finds himself not playing or not starting out the season, Colton Miller, this injury continues to linger with him, we might be moving some pieces around. And so, Andrew Coker, I think, is a guy that can battle with Dalton Wagner to potentially find himself as on this 53-man roster as a backup position. And so, again, guys, these are just my battles I'm looking for outside of the quarterback position. We all know the quarterback position is going to be exciting to watch, but these are the battles that I'm really interested about in training camp and going into preseason. So, again, guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what battles are you looking out for on the offensive side? And what are you looking forward to watching through this training camp and preseason? So I appreciate you sticking with me. Again, please like this video, subscribe, turn those notifications. Next giveaway is at 4,000 subscribers. If you want to be included, hit that subscribe button. Not only will you be included in this next giveaway, but all my future giveaways. And so I appreciate you sticking with me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. I'm out.